Your phone is dead. Not low battery, dead. You are 23 years old. You have $41 in your checking account. Your landlord slid a notice under the door this morning. 3 weeks. That is how long you have. Level 1, the floor. You apply to 46 jobs in 1 month. 46. You hear back from 2. One is a warehouse in New Jersey. The other is a temp position at a trading firm in Midtown Manhattan. You almost do not go. Your suit is borrowed. It is too big in the shoulders. The man who interviews you is named Gerald Holt. He is 61. He has the eyes of someone who has not slept since 1987. He slides a single sheet of paper across the desk. It is a 1-year contract. Entry level. $72,000 a year. You sign before he finishes the sentence. You start Monday. Level 2. The grunt. The floor is louder than anything you have ever heard. Hundreds of voices, screens stacked 4 high, numbers moving faster than your eyes can track. Your job is to run printouts. That is it. You carry paper from one desk to another. 11 hours a day. You do not complain. You watch instead. You learn names, you learn faces, you learn who screams at the open and who goes quiet. You learn which traders eat at their desks. You learn which ones disappear at noon. You learn that the ones who disappear at noon never last. There is one trader, Marcus Webb. He never screams. He is 34. He generates more revenue than the next 3 traders combined. He drinks black coffee. He arrives at 5:47 every single morning. You start arriving at 5:30. You make coffee before he gets there. You do not offer it to him. You just make sure it exists. One morning he looks at you. He asks your name. You tell him. He nods. He goes back to his screen. That is enough. Level 3, the apprentice. 6 months in, Marcus pulls you into a conference room. He closes the door. He asks you one question. He says, "What do you see?" He means the S&P open on a Tuesday, after a Federal Reserve announcement. You answer without hesitating. You have been watching it for weeks. You tell him exactly what you see. The delayed reaction, the false ceiling, the second leg down that nobody positions for. He stares at you for 4 seconds. Then he says, "Sit with me tomorrow. Your title does not change. Your pay does not change. But everything else does." Marcus teaches you the only thing that matters on the floor. He says, "The market is not math. It is fear and greed with a ticker symbol. Every number you see is a human being making a decision under pressure. You are not reading data. You are reading people. You absorb every word. You take no notes. Notes are for people who do not intend to remember. You stay until 9 every night. You are back by 5. You eat bad food at your desk. You call your mother every Sunday. You do not tell her what your days look like." Level 4, the first trade. Marcus lets you place your first trade at 8 months in. It is a small position, $14,000 on a pharmaceutical earnings play. Your hands are steady. That surprises you. The position closes in 4 hours. Profit, $6,200. Your cut is nothing. You are still a grunt on paper. But Marcus marks something down in a small notebook. He keeps it in his left breast pocket. You never see what he writes, you never ask. 2 weeks later, Gerald Holt calls you into his office. Your contract is being revised. You are now a junior analyst. Your base goes to $94,000. You have a small discretionary fund, $50,000 of the firm's money to manage as you see fit. $50,000. You grew up in a house where $50,000 was a myth. Your father never made that in a year, not once. You wire your first paycheck to your mother. You do not tell her why. She calls and asks if you are in trouble. You tell her no. You are not in trouble. Not yet. Level 5, the climb. Your first full year as an analyst. You return 22% on your discretionary book. The firm average is 11. Gerald Holt shakes your hand in front of the floor. 40 people watch. Marcus does not look up from his screen, but you see the corner of his mouth. You move to a better apartment. You buy your own suit, then 3 suits, then 7. You pay off your student loans. 1 wire transfer. A Thursday afternoon, $61,000 gone in 4 keystrokes. You sit there afterward and feel nothing. That should worry you. It does not. You start eating lunch at your desk, then dinner. Then you stop going home before midnight. The floor becomes your time zone. You track markets in London, Frankfurt, Tokyo. You set alarms for 2 a.m. to watch the Asian Open. You are 25 years old. You have not taken a day off in 7 months. You do not think about this. That is the point. Level 6. The invitation. A man named Douglas Crane calls you directly. You do not know Douglas Crane. He is not in your firm's directory. He says he has been watching your numbers. He says he represents a private investment group. He says they manage capital for a very specific kind of client. He says, the kind of client you will never name out loud. You are curious. That is the problem. Curiosity on the floor is a weapon. Curiosity off the floor is a door with no handle on the inside. You meet him at a restaurant in the West Village. No sign outside. No menu. A table in the back corner with no other tables near it. Douglas Crane is 57. He wears no watch. He drinks water. He does not touch his food. He slides a folder across the table. Inside, your trading record going back 18 months. Every position, every entry point, every exit, annotated in red ink. He knows things you did not put in any report. He says, we do not want your trades, we want your instincts, he says. There is a seat at a different kind of table. You would manage a separate book. Offshore structured. Returns go to accounts you will never know. Your compensation would be 1% of net gains. No ceiling. He closes the folder. He says, 1% of a number like ours is not a salary. It is a different life entirely. You go home. You do not sleep. You sit on your apartment floor, back against the wall. At 4 a.m., you email him one word. Yes. Level 7. The other floor. There is no floor. That is the first thing you learn. There is an office on the 44th floor. The building has no name out front. 8 desks, 12 screens each, 3 other traders. No one uses last names. No one asks where you are from. The book you manage is $380 million. You are 26 years old. The rules are different here. You receive information before it is public. Not tips. Not rumors. Structured data feeds from sources you do not ask about. You see political decisions before they are announced. You see supply chain disruptions before any press conference. You tell yourself it is pattern recognition. You tell yourself it is analysis. It is not. You know it is not. You trade anyway. Your first quarter, you return 31% on the book. Crane emails you one number. Your cut, $1.1 million. You stare at it on your screen for 11 minutes. You think about the $41 in the checking account. You wire the funds to a Cayman account as instructed. You do not take a screenshot. Level 8, the real clients. At month 4, Douglas Crane brings you into a smaller room. 1 table, 2 chairs. A man sits across from you. No introduction, no handshake. Crane says he has questions about Q3 positioning. You answer them precisely. The man nods once. He stands, he leaves. Crane tells you afterward, that man controls 11 governments' sovereign wealth funds. Do not look him up. You do. You spend 1 hour on it. You find 1 photograph, 1 name, 3 shell entities, a holding group connected to nothing. You close the browser. You never open it again. The clients begin to have requests, not suggestions, not preferences. Requests. Specific sectors moved in specific windows, particular stocks suppressed ahead of acquisitions, currency plays executed in sequences that would be untraceable individually, but devastating collectively. You execute every one. You tell yourself you are a technician. You are reading instructions. You are not making decisions. At night, you dream in candlestick charts. Your mother calls on Sundays. You let it go to voicemail more often now. Level 9, the expansion. Crane gives you a new title, Senior Portfolio Architect. You oversee 2 other traders. You train them. You teach them what Marcus taught you. The fear, the greed, the human being behind every number. You do not teach them everything you know. That is the rule here. Everyone holds something back. It keeps the structure standing. Your annual take clears $9 million. You buy a penthouse in Tribeca, 41 floors up. You stand at the window on the first night. You look at the city below. You try to feel something. You cannot locate the feeling. You start to notice consequences. Positions you execute cause visible ripples. A pension fund in a European region collapses 3 weeks after you're short. A technology company lays off 4,000 employees. The week after you offload their equity, you know the connection. You choose not to draw the line between cause and outcome. That choice has a name. You do not say it. You are 28 years old. The whole world is your floor now. Level 10. The threat. A journalist named Priya Anand publishes a piece in a financial magazine. It is about anomalous trading patterns in a cluster of offshore structured funds. The piece does not name anyone, but two of the examples she cites, the timing, the structure, the sequence of execution, unmistakably yours. Anyone who knows what to look for will see it immediately. Crane calls you within the hour. His voice is exactly the same as always. He says, "This is being handled." He says, "You will take a 2-week leave effective today." He says, "Speak to no one." You ask what handled means. He pauses. It is the longest pause you have ever heard from him. He says, "Do not ask that question again. You fly to Portugal. You rent a house near the water. You stare at the ocean for 14 days. Your phone has one enabled contact." Crane calls once. He says the piece has been retracted. The journalist has accepted a private settlement. The magazine has issued a formal correction citing sourcing errors. You fly home. You don't ask what the settlement included. You already know you will not like the answer. Level 11. The unravelling. 3 months later, Marcus Webb calls you. You have not spoken to Marcus in 2 years. He says he needs to meet in person. Not at a restaurant, not at an office, nowhere that has cameras. You meet him in a parking structure in Queens at 11 p.m. He looks older than he should. He looks scared. Marcus Webb does not look scared. That has never been his face. He tells you the SEC has opened a formal investigation, not into your original firm, into the network itself. He received a subpoena 8 days ago. 3 other traders he knows have already been approached by federal prosecutors. 2 of them have hired criminal defense attorneys. He says they have the data feeds, all of them. Going back 4 years, you drive home alone. You sit in your penthouse. The city below is brilliant and indifferent. It doesn't know your name. It does not care what happens next. You open a drawer in your desk. Inside is a plain white business card. 1 phone number. No name. Crane handed it to you on your first day in the office. He said, "If you ever need a different kind of conversation, you have never called it. You have never thrown it away. You pick up the phone. Level 12, the offer you cannot refuse." The voice on the other end is not Crane. It is a woman, calm, almost warm, like someone who has practiced warmth. She says she has been expecting your call. She says there are 2 paths forward. The first, you cooperate with the investigation, full testimony. In exchange, you receive a cooperation agreement. Reduced exposure, likely 5 to 7 years. She says you would be out before 35. She says that version of your life ends, but a life remains. The second, you disappear. A new identity, a new country, a new history, all of it arranged. Everything you have built here is left behind, the penthouse, the accounts, the name, every contact in your phone. She says, "We have executed this before, many times. It is reliable." She says you have 48 hours to decide. She says the number will not work after that window. You sit in the penthouse. The city hums 41 floors below. You think about the 4,000 people, the ones who lost jobs that Tuesday in March. You think about the pension fund. You think about the notice under the door, the borrowed suit, the $41. You make a choice. Level 13, the last trade. You call a number you memorized 18 months ago and never used. Marcus gave it to you once over coffee with no explanation. Just a name and a number. At the time you filed it away without knowing why. You know now it is an FBI Financial Crimes Division contact. You spend 6 hours on the phone, then 8 hours in a federal building, Lower Manhattan. 3 prosecutors, 2 forensic accountants. You give them everything. The data feeds, the account routing structures, the client list, the offshore network. The names you were told would never be spoken out loud. You speak them all. Douglas Crane is arrested on a Tuesday morning. 11 others are taken the same week across 4 countries. The woman on the phone is never publicly identified. You do not ask about her again. Your cooperation agreement takes 4 months to finalize. No prison time. Full asset forfeiture, the penthouse, all accounts, the car, every suit, every wire transfer you ever sent or received, traced, documented, returned. You walk out of the federal building on a Wednesday afternoon. Autumn. The city smells like rain and exhaust. Your phone has 41% battery. You have a prepaid card with $200 on it. You are 30 years old. A young man in a borrowed suit walks past you on the sidewalk. He is not looking where he is going. He is staring at his phone. He looks like someone counting days. You almost say something to him. You do not know what you would say. You let him pass. You put your hands in your pockets. The city is loud and enormous and does not know your name. You start walking.